Alright, so let's take a look at this case study 5 where we have a rocket rising. So the very first part of the journey is where the fuel will cause the rocket to accelerate. But the second part is where my fuel finish. So there's no more fuel left, but the rocket will still rise and it will rise to the maximum height before I fall back to the earth. So what is happening here? Before we talk about the motion, let's take a look at this velocity time graph first. Okay, for the velocity time graph, the first part of the journey is where your velocity increases at a constant rate. So this first part is where you are using your fuel. So next part is where suddenly there is a so-called a decrease in velocity, right? So this is where your velocity decrease at constant rate. So this is where your fuel has finished. After that, you realize that at 50 seconds, the velocity is 0 meter per second. So this is where you reach your maximum height. Then after you reach your maximum height, right, you will slowly fall to the ground. Also at this particular part, you see that my rocket actually fall. Right, of course in the opposite direction. So for the first two parts of the journey, you actually rise. So the first part, the fuel cause your rocket to accelerate. So the second part, although you are not accelerating, so the fuel has finished, so this will cause you not to accelerate, but you are still moving up. Due to inertia, because maybe I talk about second part. So second part, you're actually at before you finish using your fuel, your velocity is roughly 60 plus now. Let's call it 60 meter per second. Okay, so at 60 meter per second, you finish using your fuel, but it will not fall suddenly. It will still continue to rise up until you reach a velocity of 0 meter per second at the maximum height. So after that, you will slowly fall down. So that is the meaning of this rocket velocity time graph. So the first and second part, you are actually rising. So this part is rising, this part is rising. Only the last part of the journey, you are actually falling. So that is how we interpret the velocity time graph. So the third part, right, is actually falling towards ground. So how do I sketch the speed time graph now? So same thing, we just need to sketch, right? First part of journey, your speed will increase. Then second part of journey, your speed will decrease. So it will decrease until you reach a speed of 0 meter per second. Next part, you will, so maybe I just label a bit, 50 seconds. So next part, you will actually drop. So you drop, right? So your speed will slowly increase. Right, so that is how you sketch your speed time graph.